Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome back to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. And today, I want you to imagine a student sitting alone in a room in a foreign country. It's late at night, the room is quiet, but the mind is not. The assignments are pending, the bank balance is looking weak, and homesickness is hitting hard. The accent in class still feels unfamiliar, and everybody on social media looks settled, confident, and successful. And this student is sitting there wondering, what happened to me? I was so excited to come abroad, and why do I suddenly feel so small? So, if you've ever felt like this, or if you're planning to study abroad and secretly fear this phase, then today's episode is for you. Because the truth is, studying abroad is not just about university admission, visa, flight ticket, and reaching the destination. That is only the beginning. And after that comes the real test. Can you manage your mind? Can you manage your stress? And can you manage your confidence? Or can you manage your finances? Or can you hold yourself together when nobody is there to say, son, have you eaten your food? Don't worry, everything will be all right. And this is where today's topic becomes very interesting. Hi, I'm Kapeel Gupta, career coach, life mentor, and founder of Study Abroad Academy. I empower students, parents, and conscious professionals to design a fulfilling life and career by aligning their minds, values, and aspirations. I do it with coaching, mindset work, and the game changing power of graphotherapy because students deserve more than just guidance, they deserve transformation. So let's begin. Now, what if I told you that one simple daily act, something as basic as handwriting, could become a tool for self reflection, emotional grounding, and personal discipline while living abroad? Sounds strange? Maybe. Sounds controversial? Definitely. And sounds worth exploring? Absolutely. So today we are talking about a fascinating idea. Can handwriting help students abroad feel calmer, more confident, more focused, and more in control? And now, before anybody gets too excited and thinks I'm about to reveal some magical pen stroke that will solve all life's problems, let me say this very clearly. This is not magic. This is not a shortcut. This is not a replacement for counseling, practical planning, or real action, but it can become a meaningful daily practice. So let us first talk about the struggle of international students because if we do not understand the problem, we cannot understand why such practices attract attention. See, when a student moves to another country, life changes all at once. The food changes, the weather changes, the language around you changes, the teaching style changes, even the silence changes. Back home, many students are used to emotional support, familiar routines, known roads, family noise, and the comfort of belonging. Abroad, even simple things can feel like mini projects. Buying groceries, opening a bank account, understanding transport, managing time, making friends, speaking up in class, cooking, budgeting, doing laundry without turning everything into one sad grey towel. And while all this is happening, the student is also expected to perform academically, and that is a lot. So, if a student feels stressed, anxious, distracted, lonely, homesick, or underconfident, it does not mean that student is weak. It means that student is human. And that is why so many students start looking for ways to feel more stable from within. So this brings us to the idea of graphotherapy. See, graphotherapy is based on the belief that by consciously changing certain patterns in handwriting, a person may also influence patterns in thinking, behavior, or emotion. Supporters of this idea often say that handwriting is brain writing. In simple words, they believe the way you write is linked to the way your mind functions, and that if you bring intentional change to writing, you may slowly bring intentional change to the self. Now, this is where we need maturity because the scientific community does not strongly support graphology as a reliable way to judge personality or make major claims about people. So let us not pretend otherwise. I do not want to turn this into fantasy, but I also do not want to throw away the useful part. Because even if graphotherapy itself remains controversial, the daily act of handwriting with intention can still be powerful as a mindful practice. Think about it. When you write slowly, carefully, and consciously, you are doing more than moving a pen. You are pausing, you are focusing, you are breathing, you are bringing order to a moment. You are creating a physical ritual, and rituals matter. Daily, repeated, intentional acts can calm the mind, sharpen awareness, and give a student a sense of control. So today, I want to present these handwriting practices not as magic fixes, but as a structured daily focus exercises. So let us begin with stress and culture shock. One of the hardest parts of studying abroad is the emotional instability that comes from unfamiliarity. You are adjusting to a new culture, a new environment, and a new version of yourself. Sometimes you feel confident in the morning and completely lost by evening. In such moments, the mind becomes restless, it becomes jerky, it becomes scattered. So, a useful handwriting practice here is to work on smooth, evenly spaced writing. Take a simple sentence. It could be, I'm learning to feel at home wherever I go. Write it slowly. Keep the spacing even. Let the strokes flow smoothly. Do not rush. Do not scratch. Do not attack the page like it owes you money. Just write with calmness. The point is not that even spacing will magically remove homesickness. The point is that while creating calm and order on the page, you're also practicing calm and order in the mind. The page becomes your mirror. And now let us come to confidence. Many students abroad begin doubting themselves. They compare their accent, their communication, their body language, their knowledge, sometimes even their existence. And suddenly they start shrinking. And that shrinking does not happen only in behavior, it happens inside. And this is where signature practice becomes meaningful. Your signature is your public mark. It is your personal stamp. So, one way to use handwriting intentionally is to practice signing your name clearly, legibly, and with steadiness. Let the signature be visible, not apologetic. Let it feel present, not scared. And if you want, you may add a simple, firm underline. And if you really want to change your signature, connect with me. I'll help you design your signature so that it speaks volumes about you, about your growth, about your relationships. So connect with me. And again, I'm not saying your signature will magically turn you into a motivational speaker by next Tuesday, but I'm saying that when you practice your own name with presence every day, you're rehearsing self respect. You're reminding yourself, I'm here, I matter, I belong. For many students, that small ritual can become emotionally powerful. So, now let us talk about academic focus. Studying abroad often looks glamorous from outside, but students know the truth. Assignments can pile up, lectures can feel fast, concepts can feel heavy, deadlines can attack from all sides, and when stress rises, focus drops. One handwriting based focus exercise is to practice firm and deliberate downward strokes. especially while writing letters that require structure and decisiveness. The idea is simple. Instead of weak, shaky handwriting, you train your hand to make clear, purposeful strokes. Pair this with a sentence like, I finish what I start, or my mind is steady and focused. Now, this is not about superstition, it's about physicalizing intention. So, when a student writes with firmness, slowness, and attention, that student is also rehearsing discipline. And discipline, my dear listeners, is a very underrated form of confidence. And then comes the biggest villain for many students abroad, money stress. And this one is real. Everything feels expensive. Currency conversion attacks the heart. A coffee outside suddenly becomes a budgeting discussion. And if the student is not organized, money stress quickly becomes mental stress. One handwriting exercise here is to practice consistency. Write with a uniform slant. Keep the pressure balanced. Not too hard, not too faint. Let the writing look stable. While doing this, write a money affirmation such as, I use money wisely, or I stay in control of my spending, or every small saving builds my freedom. Will this replace a budget? No. But can it mentally prepare a student to behave more consciously with money? Yes, it can. Because very often financial stress is not about lack of money, it's also about lack of emotional control around money. And now I want to say something very important. These handwriting exercises are not the destination, they are the starting point. The real transformation happens when inner intention meets outer action. If you're writing for confidence, then also start speaking up in class. If you're writing for focus, then also make a realistic study plan. And if you're writing for financial discipline, then also track your expenses. And if you're writing for emotional balance, then also build your support system. Meet people, join communities, attend university events, speaks to student counselors, ask for help, use the resources available around you. Because life does not change only because you wrote a sentence beautifully. Life changes because the writing reminded you to act better. And that is the real beauty of this practice. It can become a daily anchor. 5 minutes with the pen, 5 minutes with yourself, 5 minutes where you stop reacting to life and start responding to it. And for a student living abroad, that can matter a lot. Let me put it this way. When everything outside feels uncertain, a small daily ritual can create inner stability. Your handwriting practice can become that ritual, not because the letters are magical, but because intention repeated daily becomes identity. You're no longer just a student surviving abroad. You're becoming a student who is learning how to regulate, refocus, and rebuild. And that is powerful. So, if you're listening to this episode and you're planning to study abroad, or you are already there and struggling silently, I want to invite you to try this with maturity. Choose one area where you feel weak right now: stress, confidence, focus, money discipline. Pick just one and then write one intentional sentence every day for the next 30 days. Write it slowly, write it mindfully, write it with structure. And after writing, take one real action connected to that goal. That 1-2 combination is where growth begins. Write for confidence, then introduce yourself to someone new. Write for focus, then study for 25 minutes without touching your phone. Write for money discipline, and then update your budget. Write for calm, then go for a walk instead of spiraling. That is how pen meets progress. And now, let me close this with something important. The world will give you many tools: apps, courses, systems, productivity methods, advice, hacks, planners, and routines. Some will work, some will not. But one of the greatest tools you'll ever carry is your ability to build a meaningful relationship with your own mind. And sometimes that relationship can begin with something as simple as a pen in your hand and honesty in your heart. So, no, This is not magic. It can be a meaningful practice. And meaningful practices done daily can quietly change a life. Now, let me leave you with a challenge. For the next 30 days, choose one inner struggle and one line of intentional handwriting. Just one. Stay consistent, stay aware, stay real, and do not look for miracles. Look for movement because the greatest transformation is not dramatic, it is daily. And now, before I sign off, let me speak directly to the students and parents listening to this podcast. If you're planning to study abroad, or you're already navigating your journey and feeling confused about your career path, mindset, confidence, adjustment, or future direction, then do not try to decode everything alone. Sometimes what a student needs is not more content. What they need is clarity. And that is where I can help you. Through my career counseling program, I help students understand their strengths, choose the right direction, and move ahead with confidence. If you're confused about your course, your career, your study abroad path, or even your emotional readiness for the journey ahead, connect with me. Do not leave your future to confusion. Message me today and let us work together to build a life and career that truly fits who you are, because your dream career was never lost, it was simply unread. Let us decode it together. This is Kapeel Gupta, and you're listening to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. Keep growing, keep writing, and keep becoming.